Hello, it's Peter with SPMoves again. Today I'm going to take you on a ride on some trails that are completely off street in Sun Prairie. This path runs east-west, just between the Liberty neighborhood and the Shonas Highland. We started our journey here from the Sun Prairie Athletic Club, and we're going to cross Schumann and be sure again to obey the traffic signs. Stop if there's a stop sign for the bike path. Now we're going to continue on the multi-user path and going to go by Bird Elementary School. And next up is the intersection with St. Albert the Great Drive. So this path is really nice because it's very limited crossing of driveways and streets. To get to the beginning of the path, there are multiple options. You can start further from the north and come down to the path entrance, or as we are coming from the south, going up. And you can see we just crossed St. Albert the Great Drive, and we're going to continue on for maybe a quarter mile, and then you will see the path begins to the left. We're going to go left here, and there are a couple of street crossings. I'm going to call them out as we go through them. So always look for vehicles, look for other users of the trails, and give them the right of way, and stop if there are stop signs. Here we're crossing Homestead Drive, and we're going to continue on. And this path is between St. Albert the Great Drive and the Liberty neighborhood. You can see we're looking at the back of buildings, and it's completely off street. It's nice and wide. There's some nice grassy areas, and you're also going to come through a couple of parks along the way. As we go further west on this path, we'll get to some wooded sections. We will come past Orphan Park, and I will point that out. There's an option to go up into Orphan Park if you'd like. There are restrooms and water fountains, and then we're going to continue on, and I'll take a quick detour and show you the new path in the Reserve neighborhood, and then we're going to come back and go through Shonas Highlands, and that's where the trail is going to end, and you can return the same way you went, or just continue on up on the sidewalk back to Orphan Park. So you can see here this path continues. It's really well maintained, and it's easy to ride. There's a little bit of an incline, but it's very manageable, and again, being completely off street, not having to worry about vehicles crossing or driveways. It's a nice option to take those that are new to trails, new to bike riding, or just for a family excursion. Now we're approaching another street, and I believe it's North Pine Street, and going to continue on. The next one will be Terra Drive, and once we cross Terra Drive, you're going to see the Liberty Community Park. Within the Liberty Community Park, there are some playground equipment, seating options, and there are also some grassy sections that if you want to explore some off-roading, you can easily take those off-road paths and ride those on a regular hybrid or city bike. So here is Terra Drive, and you can see there's sometimes vehicles coming. There's stop signs for the path, so be sure to obey those stop signs and cross when it's safe for you and others that might be riding with you. Here to our right you see Liberty Community Park, and there's some playground equipment. Nice place to take a quick stop. There are no restroom facilities or water available at Liberty Park, but you can see there's some benches along the way. And as we approach other people, be sure to let them know you're coming, ring a bell, or just say on your left ahead of time, so they know that you're coming and are not surprised by you. Be aware that sometimes people wear headphones, might be listening to music. So here on the right is the grassy path that you could take. It's a little up and down, but it's a nice option to ride across some grass, and we're going to come back onto the trail. As you're approaching this section, it's going to get nice and wooded. It's a very nice shaded area of this path, and there's a little bridge. There's a sharp left turn, so be sure to approach this with caution. Slow down. There might be people coming around the corner with dogs or with children. I want to be sure to be respectful of our trails and all users of the trail. So as we're continuing on here, now we're going to get to a little bit bigger street with possible more traffic. That's Broadway Drive, and we want to be sure to stop here as well and look left and right before we cross. So as we're crossing the street, again, wait for cars to pass, allow others to catch up with you maybe. This section again is going to be winding a little bit through some shaded wooded areas. Don't go too fast here. There are always people utilizing this path for walking, running. Families with kids might be out there pushing a stroller, and want to be respectful of all of them. And as we're going down this path, there are also some houses backing up to this path, and that might be kids playing in there, and want to be sure to make it a safe experience for every user. And we'll continue on here, and it's a little downhill section, and once we get to the end of this wooded area, there's some path options to come in from Frawley Drive from the right, the northern side. And I will also point out a path that goes a little wetland section with a wooded bridge that takes you up into Orphan Park. Orphan Park is another option for you to take a stop. There are restroom facilities, there are some basketball courts, tennis courts, seating areas, and water is available there as well. So here on the right you'll see a couple of those path entrances from Frawley Drive that go between some houses. And on the left here, I'm not going to go up into that. You will see a bridge that's going to go across some wetland area. You can go left here, cross a street, and then go up into Orphan Park if you need a rest or water or a restroom. We're going to continue on here, and we're going to come to North Thompson Road, and that's an angled crossing of this street, so give yourself enough time to get across and continue on the path. So as we're crossing the street here, we're approaching the end of this multi-user path. So if you're looking for just a 2, 3, 4 mile loop, so going back and forth, you may want to end at the end of this path. If you're looking to go a little bit further, it's very easy to cross Stonehaven Drive at the end of this and go up into the reserve neighborhood. There's some very nice new bike trails that again are on the backside of properties, so there are no driveway crossings, and you can take it all the way up to Eggery Road, and then that's where that ends and you have to come back. You can see lots of people are using this path these days. Here it's a little odd crossing, but you cross on the bike path onto a street section that's a dead end, and at the end of this dead end, it's called Amanda Drive, you can take a new path that's built, and it's going to take you on to the path on the backside of the reserve neighborhood. Again, this is very nice, being off street, and you can see no cars are allowed here. You're gonna go left, and then I'm gonna stop the video here after a short bit and come back to where we just turned left. So here we are coming to the end of this path. You can see if you look straight north, there's Agri Road. You can go to the end and come back. There's also a path that goes up to our right, and it goes up to a street section. The path here are not completed yet. So I went on sidewalks and back to the beginning, and I'll cut this out of the video and pick back up to show you the remainder of this off-street path. So here we are. This is Token Springs Elementary School, and there's a multi-user path that continues. Again, I skipped some sidewalk riding, and as we are going west here, this is, I believe, Lonnie Lane that you can look for if you'd like to take and try to find this path, but you'll quickly recognize the path that we came on when we started the exploration of this reserve neighborhood. So you can see we come into the end of the street here. Again, it's called Lonnie Lane, and you would have to cross some driveways. So if you prefer, you can stay on the trail, simply turn around and come back, and this is where you come out. We're going to follow this trail around, and we're going to go west parallel to Stonehaven Drive. There's another multi-user path that continues on for a good 3/4 of a mile, and it's going to go take us up into Shonas Highlands. And Shonas Highlands is a small park, got some very nice winding trail that goes a little uphill, and it dead ends on McMahon Drive, and from there you can also turn around and come back and follow this path back to Orphan Park or the Liberty Park area, depending on where you started your trail, your exploration, your ride from. So as always, as you're riding your bike, we want to encourage you to always wear your helmet. Be respectful of the other trail users, give them plenty of space, and if you come to intersections of streets, pay attention to the signage that's present there. Sometimes you can go across because the vehicles have stop signs. Sometimes you as a path user have a stop sign and have to stop. So pay close attention to this, and again, this trail does run past some houses, goes across some driveways that you want to pay close attention to, and we're going to go to the end of this path, and we're nearing Highway C, and we're not going to go on to Highway C. It does have some bike lanes there, but there's some heavy traffic, 4-lane highway, and I want to be sure we avoid those streets. And you can see, you can share the path and give plenty of space. Sometimes the runners or walkers give you room. Sometimes you have to get off and give them some room. And this path section, you can see it's deteriorating. It needs some work, but it's still very rideable. As we're coming to the end here, I'm going to stop and we're going to cross Stonehaven Drive and go up into Shonas Highlands Park. And this little park is just a path through. Basically, there are no stop or rest areas. It's just nice woods. There's a stream running through here, and as we get to the end, you'll see it more or less dead ends on McMahon Drive. If you want to explore on your own, you can go up McMahon Drive and follow St. Albert the Great Drive back to the bike path that will lead you back to Orphan Park. I'm going to end the video and hope to see you on our Sun Prairie Trails very soon. Thank you.